Hey, it's Denise from LoomaHat.com, and this time we're going to be talking about multiples in knitting patterns. I'm going to use the Staggered Eyelet stitch pattern for loom knitters as an example. This is a flat pattern, and it indicates that it requires a multiple of 4 stitches for the stitch pattern. And in order for it to balance out, it's going to need an additional 3 stitches. Okay, what does this mean? Let me help you look at the pattern itself differently to make things a little more clear. Multiples are basically stitch count. They tell you how many pegs you're going to need to create the stitch. The 4 tells you how many stitches for the stitch pattern itself. And the 3, although not part of the stitch pattern per se, are going to tell you how many more stitches you need to make the pattern look right. Let's focus on row 3 to help break this down. The first character on the line is that asterisk, and that asterisk is an indicator that you're going to be repeating what's in between one asterisk and the other. After the asterisk is the stitch pattern itself, which again is 4 stitches. It is a knit, knit, knit 2 together and yarn over, and you're going to repeat these same 4 stitches until you reach the desired length of your particular project. Let me show you how this would look on your loom. We have a starting peg, and it's that square that's marked right there. Every circle indicates a pattern repeat, and as you can see, it's every 4th peg, because you need to knit, knit, knit 2 together, yarn over, and you're repeating that. At the end of row 3 are those 3 additional stitches. Again, not part of the stitch pattern itself. These 3 stitches are needed to keep your flat panel from looking funky. Keep in mind that the objective is to square the panel out and to end it nicely. And so as you stack your stitches, sometimes your pattern needs a little help to look nice and even. Hope that makes sense. Now let's take a quick look at row 7, and as you can see, just like row 3, we're going to be doing the same thing when we look at the stitch on the loom. Now let's say I wanted to use this stitch pattern on a 41 peg loom to make a scarf or whatever. You would think that I can repeat the stitch pattern 10 times since I have 41 pegs, but not so. Because I only have 41 pegs, I can only do the stitch pattern 9 times, which means I'm going to knit it the first time and repeat it 8 more, which is going to use 36 of my pegs. And in order to balance it out, I need an additional 3 more, which is 39, and that's going to leave 2 empty pegs. So to use this pattern on my 41 peg loom, I will only cast on 39 stitches. Keep in mind that in this example, I am not including edges. So I wanted to give you an example of a stitch pattern which uses those 3 additional stitches in a different way at the beginning and at the end. So it's still just 3 stitches, but they've basically been unbundled. So you have 1 of the 3 at the beginning and the last 2 at the end. Well, I hope this has been helpful. Feel free to leave me your questions and really nice comments at the bottom, and take a moment to like, subscribe, and of course visit the page. Until next time, bye.